Morning, y'all. We're off to see Titleist. See you all tomorrow. So it's 4 AM, I've been up since 1:30, jet my lag. So first day with Titleist was really interesting. Look, there was lots I just couldn't film, they wouldn't let me film, which is understandable. They've built their own machines for certain tasks which they don't want people to see. There's product that is coming out in the future that they showed me, and the process of how they are trying to build that product, what they're trying to do with it, how they even come up with some of the concepts, which was really interesting, but stuff I just wasn't allowed to film. The biggest thing that came through from day one for me, out of all the offices I've been to, look, Titleist certainly isn't the jazziest. You know, I've been to other offices where it's like they want to be in the social network. That's a film if you haven't seen it, about Facebook. Which isn't a bad thing, but it's a different vibe, it's a different feel. This one was much more, as you go in, felt more subdued, if you like, compared to some of the others I've been to. Yet, when you started talking to these people, what was really clear was the amount of expertise. So some of the learning I did was fantastic, which I will share with you through the year, on things like, tolerances, build tolerance is something that obviously Titleist are working uber hard to try and get as tight as possible. Anyone who's watching who's an engineer, and anyone who understands engineering, it's all great having a concept, and it's all good having these ideas on paper. You then got to build it, and then you got to build it in mass production, so you need to build it so it's the same for everyone. And I learned some interesting stuff about tolerances, which you'll see in the future. But let's just say they're taking a lot of pride in the tolerances of when they're building, of how to build these clubs, so you're getting pretty much what the tour players are getting to a certain extent. The other thing as well, which was really interesting, was about the amount of innovation that just floats around that office. And for me, what's interesting working with a brand like Titleist is it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? They're not able to really talk to you about innovation that well, because it'll be perceived as blowing their own trumpets and maybe almost as a negative way. But when you go and see the patent wall, some of the things that they've brought to market that other manufacturers now just take as granted, again, built within these really tight tolerances, you can't help but be impressed. So look, day 2 today is going to be exciting. Lots more for me to film as well. There's going to be more action. We're going to TPI, so you're going to see stuff about my fantastic body and how it relates to your golf. Not my body to your golf, your body to your golf. And also some of the kind of measuring they're doing of humans and clubs in testing to make sure that the product comes to market in a way that is going to help as many different demographic of golfers that they can find, really, at the end of the day. But I need to get some sleep. My alarm's going to go off at 6:30. I haven't slept that much. And yes, I am filming this in my pants.
Ryan Little.
Right guys, Titleist Performance Institute. We got Dave Phillips here, and he's going to screen me. Yep, I'm going to be screened.
You're going to arch that lower back as much as you can. There you go. Arch it and flatten it as much as you can. Okay, not too bad. So arch it again for me. Again, that's equal to spine. And there's nothing wrong with that. It looks pretty solid right there. Good. Squat. And believe me, there's a lot of people that can't pass this test. There you go. So now you're just going to go down as far as you can. So right there, notice how the arms come forward. Doesn't quite break parallel. So we're going to, and again, not quite there. Hands down by your side, and when you're ready, this is where the trouble starts, you're going to close your eyes and try and hold that for as long as you can. Must be doing some martial arts work, man. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I thought you'd all gone.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's try the other. Good, so both of those are fine, and then external go the other way. Awesome.
Right, Kaylee and Dave are now going to measure my awesome power. Is that what we're doing?
What we're
We
doing.
are indeed.
Is this room big enough and ready for me to unleash
You know what? We'll give it
the
up.
262 worth of Crossfield power? Oh, God help me. I'm filming this.
As far as we can. Okay, and we're going to see where that lands, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to do that 3 times with you, and we're going to measure, we're going to average out those 3. So I'm looking at your push pass right here.
Okay.
Now normally we do a 4 kilogram ball for men.
Yeah.
We do a 2 kilogram ball for women or junior golfers as well.
Can I have the 2-1?
No, you can't.
You just threw that miles, Kaylee, on camera. Why have you
I'm
done
sure
that?
you can beat me.
I told you to throw it there. Obviously, I only see this as a competition now.
We won't tell you how far our long drive guys can
No,
throw.
yeah, I can believe it.
I'm going to stand right back here.
Yeah, you better watch yourself. Right, so I've got to throw it like this.
Yeah, you got to keep.
Not like
No,
over
not
my
like
head.
that. So chest pass, nice and tall, and you're just going to push it. As far as you
Can I use trajectory to help me,
You
or
can use whatever you
so
want.
I can push that way?
Whatever you want. You can launch it.
I'm just trying to use science because fitness
I
has
know.
failed me for
I can get the
years.
TrackMan out if you want. We can do launch and spin.
I'm trying to think my way through this.
Okay.
Now, that was longer.
One. There you go. Okay. Awesome. So a little bit more. Now sitting tall, stay tall.
Can we not have sniggering in the back, please?
It's all part of it.
So here's kind of what all that means, right? So what we look at on the PJ Tour when we do this, first thing we're looking at is how even are the numbers.
Yeah.
So if the numbers end up being pretty even, that means you're using all your power sources efficiently. So sometimes we'll get somebody in that has a 26-inch vertical and a 15 or a 17 push pass or whatever, right?
Okay, so you get one big power source and then one medium.
Exactly. So we see that with a lot of kids because
Yeah.
their first power source is their legs. They learn to run, walk, jump. They don't get their core until in their teens, and they don't get their upper body strength until they're pretty much 18, 19, 20, right?
Yeah.
So what we're looking at there is I'm looking at how even is your power source. Yours are all pretty even?
Yeah, I would, if you were to ask me to guess.
Yep.
I would have guessed they're all pretty even on the lower level.
They're a little lower,
Yeah.
right? But you haven't really done them before. They're all pretty even, though. This one showed up the biggest, so you've still got leg strength more than the other two,
Okay.
but only minor. So I would look at it going, what power you do have, at least it's efficient. You're
Yeah.
using it the way you should use it. With your case, now this is a guess,
Yeah.
but we're pretty good at
Talking driver,
kind of
ball
looking at
speed.
driver, ball speed, club head speed. With your numbers, I'd probably be looking around the 152, 155 area.
Spot on.
There you go.
So I'm 155.
So one-
I'm 100 miles an hour track man. I'm like 105 warm, 95 cold.
There you
GC
go.
quad, I'm like 107 to 102 because they measure at different
So there
points.
again, so we warm you up or anything.
Yeah.
And so just by those numbers, looking at this, because I've done this so many times and then look at the numbers, that would be the range I would put you in right there, right? Now, how beautiful this is it tells me as an instructor also what it is that might be contributing to the way they swing the club. So if you get that kid that's got great leg power, but nothing else, you might see the jumper, or you might see him losing his posture. Now, what I'd be careful of is don't take that away, because that's his power source as a kid. If you take it away too quickly, they'll have a nice little golf swing, they'll hit it straight, but they won't hit it far. And you know as well as I do, this game's all about power. Now, to give you some perspective, long drive tour, when we bring in Justin James, who won the World Long Drive, or Ryan Winther, or those guys, Justin's in the 30, 32, 36 range on all of those. The highest I've had Ryan Winther at 42-inch vertical. So you can see these massive numbers, and even big guys who you would think, wow, that guy's 300 pounds. Ryan Winther, 300 pounds, can jump 40-inch vertical. Wow. So huge power producing out of the way they use their body, right? But then again, if I look at some of the smaller guys, and you got the Justin Thomases, those type of guys, they're going to be in that 20, 22, 24, 26 range, that mid-20s range, which is giving them 175, 177, 180 type ball speeds, right?
3:15. Mark Crossfield back at you. So I thought I'd just round up the day. It was like nothing I've ever seen. I've been to a lot of companies before and their kind of performance centres, and the thing that was really stand out with the Titleist one was the size. It was wider, bigger. You had ball testing there, you had body testing, you had the club testing, short game facilities, like nothing else I've seen. So it really was like the thoroughness of the place, and then also the integration of the human into it, because all the other ones I've been to, really, you know, they're just talking about what they sell, which is the golf club. Where with TPI it was very obvious that it was much more, or equally as much about the human, the player, the body, what it can and can't do, as it is then the equipment, and then trying to mix those two in. Which, if you think about it, is completely obvious, isn't it? You're going to give a long drive champion a very different piece of equipment to a junior compared then to me to then a 24 handicapper. If you can then include that body part as well and give them some, which I've got, which you'll see in some future videos, which are going to do a little study about me trying to increase a little bit of club head speed through exercises, you're basically giving them the full package and you're giving them the full chance to get better. And that was the standout message, which I thought was really interesting, was that Titleist basically just want to make you better, because they honestly believe that if they make you better, then you'll be a customer for life. You know, it's a business decision as well. They're not so interested in just the kind of the quick sell, like they're just quick, you know, change a weight, change a loft, boom, there it is, dialed in, take that one. They want to understand more why you're going to be better or not, and trying to help you with it. Unfortunately, Bob Vokey wasn't very well. I was meant to meet with Bob, but Bob wasn't well, so we brought one of his other guys, who was fantastic. He gave me a fit. We talked about bounces and grinds, and there will be, I'll do more on that in an individual video, because I know it's one of those kind of repeatable questions. But he showed me how him and Bob do their fittings and how they work with players and get the most out of the different grinds, bounces, shapes, lofts for players, which I'll share with you as we go down in, like I say, in another video. And again, it was quite eye-opening, it was educational for me, and hopefully I'll share it on to you so you can get out there and think about getting some wedges made that will really kind of help you in certain situations, which was the standout point. So last day today, we'll do a vlog today. We're going to go and see how clubs are made, how they're building them to the tight tolerances that they tried to build them. But that was an amazing experience. I think there's so much more potential in the TPI stuff that I think certainly lots of my audience have seen yet. Right, I'm going to try and get back to sleep, and I thought it would just be appropriate. Again, it just seems to make sense to finish this one in my pants as well. Kind of rude not to, really, isn't it?